What's up everybody, I'm HoopsandHipHop, and welcome to my first Zelda collab video. With me today is ZeldaWars98, and we are going to be discussing games that could possibly happen within the lore of the Zelda franchise.
That's right, and me and Hoops also made a video on my channel where we go over some possible Zelda spin-off games that we would like Nintendo to do, so make sure to head over to my channel to check it out. Of course after this video first.
As a quick disclaimer, these aren't games that we think are actually going to happen, they are simply games that could happen given the series of events within the Zelda universe, and that we think would be awesome if they really came to be. With all of that out of the way, let's get started. Starting off the list, we would like to see another game set in Termina, or, depending on your preference, another game in Holodrum, Labrina, New Hyrule, or any of the other kingdoms that we have only seen in one game. Going back to Termina, however, we need to have another game in this world because it simply has too rich of an atmosphere and history to be abandoned and never heard from again. Where does Majora's Mask really come from? And for that matter, who is Majora? There is also an entire side story surrounding the Ikana Kingdom in the Garo that could be greatly expanded upon. Hyrule is a kingdom that has been greatly expanded over the series' 30-year history. It's gone from an 8-bit land full of nothing but enemies into a kingdom with a rich history, and I believe Termina deserves the same treatment.
I just have to say that I am pretty glad I get to talk about this one because The Wind Waker is my favorite Zelda game. So I would totally agree that there should be a Zelda game with the Wind Waker style, but this time that takes place on land and not have a big focus on traveling on water. Now I know what a lot of you guys are going to say, but Hoops and Zelda, we already have Spirit Tracks, so this one is stupid. And I totally understand what you guys are saying, but for this one we would like for it to not be on a handheld console, have normal controls, and not be linear. This new Hyrule that we saw in Spirit Tracks just isn't enough to hold us over. I would like to see more of it in the future game that could work as a sequel to Spirit Tracks. From what I've seen from Zelda U, it looks like we just might get that. Not in the exact same style as Wind Waker, but pretty close enough. I mean, I already pre-ordered it.
Have you ever wondered if Link ever ended up finding Navi after the end of Majora's Mask? Cause I sure as heck have. I mean, that was the whole reason he got roped into that quest in the first place. I would really like to see a direct sequel to Majora's Mask where Link actually does find Navi and they embark on another quest together. This would give closure to that storyline and turn the arguably most important two-game sequence in Zelda into a trilogy, which is a pedestal that Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask definitely deserve to stand upon. And since this game would take place between Majora's Mask and Twilight Princess, it could also explore Link's origins as the hero's shade. This game pretty much puts itself together. Get to it, Nintendo!
I didn't realize this until recently, but how cool would it be if we got a Zelda game based on the Hyrule Civil War? It just makes too much sense for them to not make one. It would tie so many things together. The games do a good job of trying to tell the story in A Link to the Past and Ocarina of Time, but there needs to be a game that gives the gamer more of a picture as to what happened during the war. See, previously it has always been in text, or in the case of Ocarina of Time, just a bit of visuals. This game could even have us play as maybe Link's father, or even the villain. Hey, that's a cool idea. Maybe there could even be an option in the game where you could play as the heroes or the villains. This game needs to be made. Come on Nintendo, give it to me. I am worth it. That joke was horrible, I apologize.
The idea for this one has been floating around the internet for a while, and it's simply too good not to include on this list. I think I speak for basically everyone when I say having a game where you play as Sheik during the 7 years that Link is sealed away in Ocarina of Time would be absolutely fantastic. Despite the potential name of this game, it's no secret that Ocarina of Time is the most important game in the Zelda franchise. It was the first 3D Zelda game and was the cause of the three-way timeline split that is central to the lore of the series. Having this potential Sheik-focused game could expand the story of Ocarina of Time even further, and if it's even possible, make it even more of an absolute juggernaut within gaming history. Imagine this. The game takes place right after Link is sealed away, while Zelda is still young. The opening sequence shows Hyrule in flames as Ganondorf begins his conquest, and Impa has taken you to a very remote section of Hyrule. This is where you would begin your Sheikah training, with Impa as well as other Sheikahs there to teach you. This game could completely open up the Sheikah storyline, which is something that fans have been clamoring for years. The game could also cover the entire 7-year period and have Zelda slowly age as you progress, which, by the way, is a feature that nearly made it into the Wind Waker. Like I mentioned earlier, the game could introduce new Sheikah characters that assist and train you, but then are ultimately killed by Ganondorf, therefore explaining their absence in Ocarina of Time. Imagine that the harp that Sheik has in Ocarina of Time, which is the same harp used by Zelda in Skyward Sword, was given to him by one of his Sheikah tutors, and he was entrusted to protect it since it is a sacred artifact of the Hyrulean royal family. Then, later in the game, that tutor is killed by Ganondorf, leaving only the harp for Sheik to remember them by. That would add so much more depth to Sheik's character, as well as significance to the harp, and it would all take place within the familiar world of Ocarina of Time, albeit slightly expanded. Playing Ocarina of Time after playing this game would be so much more enjoyable, and that is saying something considering how great Ocarina of Time already is. Simply put, we need this game. Nintendo, please take my idea. You don't even have to pay me. Just give me a special thanks in the credits or something. I don't even care. Just make this game. And there you have it. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more collabs and remixes. Also, go grab one of my shirts on Redbubble if you'd like to support the channel. I would really appreciate it. And of course, head over to Zelda's channel where we discuss some Zelda spin-off games we would like to see. Till next time, Zelda fans, may the Triforce be with you.